Andreas Flores, Jeff McGuire, Zach Sparkman is here as well. Love to hear from you on the Schlonski's text line 75044. Get your predictions in for Croatia versus France. They'll start here in about 45 minutes on Fox 34. We mentioned, or let me do this, Jeff. Football season, would you say around the corner, right? Less than a month, I guess, from actually starting practice, September 1st, the first day of football games. When does football start for you officially? Is it media days? Is it that
college
first day
football
of practice?
starts media days?
Media days.
That's the unofficial start to the season, because then you've got everybody top of mind. Then you've got guys coming in. Then you've got first is promoting the program there, and you're going to get a bunch of new stories that are going to be the same stories we're going to be hearing about in December, because national media is lazy, and they will, and rightfully so, because they've got 85 teams that they're worried about, not just one. They're lazy for us because we're looking for new storylines every week, because the same one that was at media days is boring by now. And I mean by like week one, it's boring. So then you get guys coming in to check in for the program. You get report day. You get, this is how the position battles are coming out. And all of this before the first week of September, where you got your first game. So Big 12 Media Days is the official start of college football, is the unofficial start of college football.
For me, it'll be the first day of practice, because you actually get to report. You know who's going to be there. And I guess you would assume everybody that was in spring, not everybody, but will end up being there in August.
I'd say like 98%, 99% of them, maybe one person.
And then you get to throw on the helmets.
We know for sure one person, but yeah.
You get to throw on the helmets, you get to do some drills and practice. So for me, that's when, I guess, football season officially starts here in college football. So let me throw that out to the Schlonski's text line. When does football season officially start for you? Would it be media days, first day of practice, first game of the season, or other? Sparkman, did you? What about you? When does the football season officially start?
It's getting there. Maybe not quite. Like, I think football season starts when fall camp starts. Once you get to high school, once 2-a-days get going, that's official. But it really starts to build up, when the Dave Campbell's magazine comes out, which, I mean, this year it came out like 2.5 weeks late. But yeah, it was like,
have you not heard his epic trying to get a copy of this? Oh, tell him this story.
Yeah, so like it was supposed to come out, I think, like the 28th or something. But they wanted to make a change. I guess the Jason Witten retiring and maybe something else. I haven't read all the way through it yet, but there was some story they wanted to add. So, and I never expected to get into stores in Lubbock the day of. So it's like it was 26th or 28th. So that Friday, I go into United just down the road. Didn't see it. Went into Barnes & Noble. They didn't have it. Went and then 4th of July, same deal. Like, I think I went to the couple of stores that are close to me probably 4 or 5 times, and then I finally got it, I guess, this past Monday. So yeah, it was a bit of a delay, but yeah, once that gets out and you read up, that gets, pretty fired up about it. Big 12 Media Days, that steps it up. Tech Media Day. So it's getting close. Like, I'm about to, fervor level, but I'm getting ramped up about it.
Very good. Where do they put your fighting shallow water Mustangs? Are they making the playoffs?
Yeah, they picked them to get second in the district. I disagree with it. They picked Bushland. They made a nice little run in 4A last year, dropped down, but their quarterback was a stud. I watched them play a couple of times out at Lowry Field in the playoffs, and he graduated. So I feel pretty good about my Mustangs' chances of, I guess, getting back-to-back district championships and, I don't know, like 5 out of 6 seasons.
There you go.
Maybe hopefully make a nice little run if injuries don't kick in like they did last year. They picked your Cooper Pirates to win their district, which I thought that was a little surprising, but looking in to see at the other teams around the district, they were hurt by injuries so bad they have experience coming back as well. So should be a fun season here of football, South Plains.
Should be fun. You got me excited for football there, just that little Dave Campbell's Texas football magazine. So we'll throw that out to the Schlonski's text line. This is the Sunday Sports Blitz on Double T 97.3. Let's talk some Big 12 preseason first team. I guess there was just one team announced. Will Greer, Offensive Player of the Year. Any problems with that? Quarterback from West Virginia?
Huge, enormous problems, only because he's only the offensive player, the preseason offensive player of the year, because he's the only quarterback that really any of us know anything about on a conference-wide level. He had the most success last year coming in. He is the Big 12 quarterback of the year preseason by default. Now, he's going to be good. Don't misunderstand me. But it's like, okay, so Tech's got a new quarterback. Oklahoma State's got a new Tech. Well, we don't know what Texas quarterback situation is. Okay, you're going through like 8 teams that normally have a guy in this contention for quarterback, offensive player of the year that are all bringing in a new guy.
Well, did it have to be a quarterback?
It has been a quarterback every year since Adrian Peterson, I believe.
But we also have had good quarterbacks.
Right.
First round potential quarterbacks.
But it takes a guy like all-purpose Adrian Peterson to break that. Because that's the way the Big 12 works. You're throwing the football. And you need the guy that can throw the football to be successful. It's amazing to me. Now, again, he's going to be good. I don't think he's going to end up being the offensive player of the year. I will go ahead and I've got no cash on me right now, but I would bet all the money in my pockets versus all the money in your pockets that he will not be the Big 12 offensive player of the year at the end of the year.
No, and I think West Virginia, and we'll get to this later, them being picked second in the preseason Big 12 poll, I don't think they'll end up there as well. But the 3 Red Raiders that make that list on the defensive side, Deshaun Johnson, Justice Parker, and Dakota Allen Jeff, at the end of the season, does one of these guys make it to the postseason? Does one guy make it? Do all these guys make it? Or does more than these 3 guys make that list for the Red Raiders at the end of the year?
Oh, more than these 3 guys will make the final list. But the final list is also like first, second, and third team.
Just this one team.
But if we're talking first team, I could see all 3 of them making first team at the end of the year. These are solid guys for you for the last few years. And I'm not saying that they have to continue to improve like they have the last couple of years to stay where they should just hold serve. And I think they can absolutely do that in the Big 12 this year. And if they can get any help from their offense, they won't be on the field as much, which would also help on the late game struggles that they had.
No concerns here with me for these 3 guys. Like you said, they're very good. They've played like that. But at the end of the season, if everything goes right, you should have more on this list as well. Now, who's that going to be? I don't know. You would like to see a defensive lineman maybe to help that cause, the pass rush, the run stopping there at the first initial contact there. I would like to see that, but right now I can't name you a guy who could possibly be that. Maybe Nick McCann, Lonzel Gilmore, those guys come to mind if they can have a good season, stay healthy.
Yeah, we'll see. Those are 2 of the names that you could foreseeably add. I think you've got a better chance of adding Brooks on the linebacking core. It would take I don't want to say it would take a miracle to get 2 linebackers in the All Big 12 first team at the end of the year, but I could see both of them making it by the end of the year.
Do you think people are sleeping on this defensive line? Media-wise, that vote for these teams and vote for these polls? I'm a little sleeping on them because there is no big name or big recruit.
Yeah, it seems like, because Mike Thomas was phenomenal last year, but he takes most of the headlines and he is graduated and moved on. So with losing him, it's like, man, you lose so much on the D-line when really, I guess him and Zach Barnes are really the only 2 pieces that you did lose. And they got, a lot of, Eli Howard, that could be another name potentially working his way up there. I think we forget how disruptive he was because he, I think tackles for loss, it was a solid number, but it could have been a lot. There was a lot of plays, where he was just a step late, just a half step, just whatever it is. So I think he could maybe be one of those names if he could get up, get 8 to 10 sacks, get 8 to 10 tackles for loss, force a fumble or 2, whatever. Because he had 3 strip sacks last year, something like that.
Yeah.
So he can maybe be that name. But yeah, I think the losing Mike Thomas kind of maybe makes our confidence level on the D-line lower than maybe what it should be, because I thought they played, really well for the most part last season.
I think people are sleeping on the D-line, Jeff. What do you think? It's a better defense.
It is, but I don't know that your line is where your big improvements are. And I'm not saying that they won't be improved. I'm not saying that they're going to be a bad defensive front. But your linebackers and defensive backs are really where your defense has stepped up in run support and in pass. It's your defensive line push is going to get extra time because your corners are covering better. Your defensive line is going to get help on run defense because your linebackers are able to cover more territory and make the tackles to help the defensive line. That's kind of the style you've run. I don't know that you're sleeping on them, but I don't know that there's a guy that is just going to jump out and be the hero either for this defensive line. I think you've got a lot of guys there that can do a lot of different things well, but nobody is going to be phenomenal at anything, if that makes sense.
Other side of the ball, offensively, not one Red Raider makes the preseason all Big 12 list. So let me ask you that same question, Jeff. At the end of the season, you have one guy, you have three guys, or more than three guys make the postseason all Big 12 first team offensive.
I could see two making it. It was surprising to see not to see Jack Anderson as an offensive lineman first team.
Maybe age or grade had to do with that?
Maybe. I would also say that Oklahoma's got a really, really good offensive line still. I mean, they've lost some pieces, but they've still got a really good offensive line. And so them taking a bunch of those spots isn't a surprise in any way, shape, or form. But I imagine he's going to be on the list by the time of the end of the year. And I would imagine that a receiver for Tech makes the list. I don't know who. Just somebody is going to be your quarterback's his favorite target.
Uh-huh.
But I kind of like the fact that we don't know who it is.
Yeah.
Now, I would really like a quarterback to start all 13 games and go out and perform well. But you got to see that first. And that's going to be the biggest hindrance on a wide receiver making first team.
Sparkman, 1, 3, or more offensively make the first team all Big 12 postseason.
Ooh, I'll say one. First team or just
first team?
I'll say one.
You'll say one? I'll stick to 1, too, but definitely with room to improve and hoping that we do get more because that may mean you have a better season than we all anticipate right now.